read you a definition here on energy, and then we will expound as we go forward. Blessings, blessings, and more blessings. Welcome to Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, where evolution is essential for growth. I am your host, Michelle King, your holistic health coach, and today we will be talking about energy. E for energy, and that is human energy. I'm going to read you a definition here on energy, and then we will expound as we go forward. Human energy. It encompasses the physical power from metabolism and movement, the mental focus, emotional quality, and spiritual vitality, life force, chi, prana, that drives individuals, often described as a subjective sense of aliveness, vigor, or juice, to act, create, and connect, influencing health, performance, and collective consciousness. Human energy. The different types of energy that we utilize is physical energy, emotional energy, mental energy, and spiritual energy, which is life force. I love that. Let's start out by talking about physical energy and what physical energy is. It is the biological energy from food, calories, that fuels bodily functions and movement related to stamina and output. So, of course, the brand is Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, Mind, Body, Spirit. And as it states here, physical energy comes from what you consume. What you consume. Have you been questioning the current status of your relationship? Does it seem as if everything is your fault and you can do nothing right? Are you binge watching YouTube videos seeking out an answer on narcissism? Well, you don't have to look any further because I have what you need. I have written a book entitled Creepy, The Unveiling of a Narcissist, along with a journal that you could use for cathartic writing as you are reading and getting set free. The book is not dedicated to the narcissist, but the very things that you are going through as you endure this painful relationship. The book is available on Amazon and in my store, soulful-store.com, soulful-store.com, so that you can begin to heal. God bless. It stems from actual foods that you eat, what you drink, but it also is what you watch on television, whose company that you keep or you allow to be within your company. That all has a bearing on your physical energy. Guys, if all we feed ourselves is food from restaurants because we don't take time to identify exactly what it is that our body needs to have the endurance to continue to make it each day, but we want to just kind of give our body something just to say that we fed ourselves, it's time out for that. The reason why is because when we go grocery shopping, everything is packaged. And we must begin to ask ourselves, how much vitality can we get from just packaged items? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it better to fill your plate with fresh vegetables, salad, and whatever portion of, protein or, however you get your protein, whether your protein comes from meat source or whether your protein comes from beans, legumes, So we do need to, do what works for us, but are we truly energizing the physical part of us in a way that shows that we love ourselves? I always say none of us will be perfect because we simply can't. There's so much, stuff out here that you can partake of. But me being a woman over the age of 50, it's just time out for me to just, continue to just eat anything just to say that I ate. So we must begin to fuel our body as much as we can with the proper things that will help increase our stamina. So more fresh fruits and vegetables. Make sure we're drinking healthy drinks versus, canned sodas and energy drinks and things like that. I've done a lot, but one thing I can admit to is I've never had an energy drink. I will drink coffee, but I try not to, just pour a lot of, sugars or sweeteners, or, I might do a little cream, but I've never had an energy drink, and I really don't deem it necessary for me to have an energy drink. And from what I've read and heard from others, these can truly affect your cardiovascular health. Not saying that, too much coffee can't, but, especially with espresso shots and things like that. But we got to listen to our body. The things that are not bringing about wellness, because it's what you do on the health side which brings about wellness. So if we know that there are things that we need to begin to give up so that we can create a better wellness for ourselves, then that's what we need to be doing. Physical energy. Going back to, social media and watching things on television. You may say, well, what does that have to do with my physical? Well, it does affect you because it affects your mind, it affects your body, it affects your spirit. All that we see going on in the media in regards to, ICE and things like that. You see it on television, it affects your physical, it affects your being. You kind of think about it and keep just looping it within your mind. So we got to make sure that we are feeding our physical, which still is going to affect our spiritual and our mental and our emotions, the proper things. Your body deserves what it needs so that you can function at its highest potential, at your highest potential. Let's move to emotional energy. The quality of energy linked to feelings, mood, and passion, impacting vigor and interaction. Emotional energy. If you are in a relationship that isn't conducive to you having a positive state of mind, but yet bringing you down every day, and you're coming to work and discussing this relationship that seems to bring you down, then I would suggest that that is affecting your emotional energy. If you're working a job that is not conducive to you fulfilling those passions, those gifts, those passions that were given unto you, but yet continues to keep you boxed in, then you might need to reevaluate your position on your job. Maybe you're ready to move up the corporate ladder a little bit. Maybe you're ready to, go and just do something totally different. Maybe you're ready to begin to dive into those things that that you are passionate about, such as public speaking or creating a YouTube channel. No one knows that better than you, and you won't know until you give it a try. So begin to set boundaries with the things that are emotionally taxing on you, and go forward and begin to work within the things that you know that you are passionate about. And you can guarantee that will have an effect on your mood. It will have an effect on how you feel every day. And it will produce more vigor and stamina because you have shifted from doing something that does not, it's not satisfying to you and your being, you know? It doesn't serve your purpose anymore. It is okay to shift. It is okay to evolve. Because if you don't, then you become complacent. How do I know? I've been there and I've done that. So, emotional energy, the quality of energy linked to feelings, mood, passion, and impacting vigor and interactions. I had someone telling me today they are emotionally drained, and so they do not care to interact with very many people out within the community. That's why I always say it's an inside job, because and given there's nothing wrong with being alone. There's nothing wrong with having me time so that you can collect your thoughts and things like that. But we also want to be okay with, being around people. And so sometimes it takes us to go within and see what caused you to not want to sit amongst others and feel okay with, confiding in others, when needed. So, yes, emotional energy. Next, we have mental energy. The ability to focus, concentrate, and direct one's attention. That is mental energy. When it comes to mental, what I've learned is if you don't have a renewing of your mind, you will stay stuck. You will continue to appease the templates of society and not begin to go within and do the things that you were born to do, the things that you are passionate about. So, how do you protect your mental energy? Again, setting boundaries. Knowing what serves your purpose. Not always looking for someone outside of you to give you a pat on your back, because it just may not happen. I truly believe that even, things like imposter syndrome, it affects your mental energy. It can stunt your growth. Those things that you're passionate about, if you suffer from imposter syndrome, you may become complacent, stay stuck, and not move to your next level. How do you help your mental energy? Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's turning the television off because there's just too much going on and you know that you can't take anymore. You're about to burst. So turn the television off. Maybe it's the company that you keep. Maybe it's the job that you work, the places that you go that drain your mental energy. Maybe it's because you keep replaying the things that bound you 20, 25 years ago. So it has an effect on how you focus, how you concentrate, and how you direct one's attention. Begin to deal with your mental energy so that you can thrive. Next, spiritual energy, your very life force. And it says here the definition of spiritual energy is inner force, referred to as chi, prana, or vital energy, connecting mind, body, and spirit, fostering purpose and aliveness. Now, when I came up with this brand, I had just gotten to a place in my life that you must take care of the whole you, mind, body, spirit. And by the way, these t-shirts and this soulful mug, mind, body, spirit, is available in my e-store, soulful-store.com, soulful-store.com, so that you can begin to soulfully vibe. Real quick, what is the definition of soulful? Going deep. Going deeper to take care of you, connecting with you, the whole of you, mind, body, spirit, which is what the definition of spiritual energy is. Inner force. Everything begins within, but that is not what we're taught, because we have been taught to go with outside of yourself in search of acceptance without ever going within you to see what it is that you would need so that you can thrive. Mind, body, spirit. Inner force. So whether it's breathing techniques, whether it's you reading your scripture, or whatever religious affiliation that you have. Perhaps you don't have a religious affiliation, but you love nature. You love going on walks. All of these things will help to energize the inner you. Energize the inner you. No longer do we have time to just look for love outside of ourselves. We have to begin to tap in to the love that is within. The scripture says that we are made in the image of God, and it also says that God is spirit. And we must worship him in spirit and in truth. So what I have learned is going within allows you to do that. Will you become perfect? Will you no longer, do the wrong thing or make wrong decisions? That's not what this is about. But it is about you vibing at your highest level so that you can continue to reach, I always say it, self-actualization. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization. And no one can do that for you but you. Of course, we as a community support one another. That's why I am on here right now. I am here to support my fellow women over the age of 50. Really, it's for everybody, but definitely over the age of 50 now that I'm over the age of 50. And I want to be here to support you and give you encouragement and let you know that you are enough. You are enough. So I don't want to, begin to, just ramble on, because I want to stay on topic. And topic today, was on energy, your physical energy, your emotional energy, your mental energy, and your spiritual energy. And listen to the video as many times as you need to. It is important, especially again with all that is taking place here in the United States of America, that you begin to tap into your higher self within so that you can make the proper decisions as we go forth. Let's not live in fear, but let's come together in solidarity. And you may say, well, how do you do that? Again, doing just what, we're doing now on the YouTube channels here, and just promoting positivity and supporting one another. So until next time, stay soulful, take care of yourself, continue prayers and blessings, mind, body, spirit. Peace out. Have you been questioning the current status of your relationship? Does it seem as if everything is your fault and you can do nothing right? Are you binge watching YouTube videos seeking out an answer on narcissism? Well, you don't have to look any further, because I have what you need. I have written a book entitled Creepy, The Unveiling of a Narcissist, along with a journal that you could use for cathartic writing as you are reading and getting set free. The book is not dedicated to the narcissist, but the very things that you are going through as you endure this painful relationship. The book is available on Amazon and in my store, soulful-store.com, soulful-store.com, so that you can begin to heal. God bless.